guess I should hit the video now.
Are you ready?
Are you kidding me? That's what?
Yeah, every so often it happens that Ryan is right.
100% right. Not even a little bit right.
Tucker Pullman, 2 points last game.
No kidding.
My man!
Hey, neither does me running shirtless, but that turned out very well.
Welcome to the PP1 Podcast.
Oh, man, I miss that sound. I really do.
It's been a minute.
Really do. It's been a minute. I'm going to get my screen figured out here. Welcome to the PP1 Podcast. The best Canucks podcast in Kelowna, maybe even Vancouver, definitely occasionally in Taiwan. But welcome
100% of the time in Thailand.
Exactly. I haven't checked. I haven't been to verify these acclaims, but we're going to go with it. I'm here with my man, Teddy Wong. How you doing, bro?
Doing good, man.
I missed you. It's been a minute. I haven't even talked to you in person in 2 weeks.
Has it been that long?
Or longer, maybe. I feel like it.
It's been a whirlwind the last couple of weeks. Lots going on here.
Yeah.
Graduation.
Mm-hmm.
That was so my oldest daughter Ava graduated.
Oh,
so
I thought you meant you graduated.
I graduated from high school for the third time.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's been good. It's been busy. Lots of family in town, trying to catch up to everything.
Right.
Weather's getting a little nicer finally. I feel like
yes.
Yeah, we've had our run of shite weather, and then I think I'm gonna go golfing this Sunday. Should be good.
Who are you going with?
Darren.
He's good.
Yeah, Darren, John, and then Darren's cousin. Should be a good
time. So that's only 3 people.
Darren, John, and Darren's cousin, and then I'm also going to be there.
That's 3. That's 4.
Yeah,
that's 4.
Sorry, I thought that was implied.
Yeah, it's just 4. Okay, the math checks out. That's good. It's wow, it's been a minute. Not only have we not recorded in a while, I apparently haven't thought in a while. So that's something else. We got a new thing that we're going to do today because why wouldn't we? Guys, we're sponsored by Manscaped. Did you know this? Remember Manscaped? You remember Manscaped. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my personal pleasure to announce that Smooth Sack Summer is officially upon us. These are real words, by the way. When you're playing in the summer sun, make sure you're groomed from, yes, it says pubes to bum. These guys probably have the best script writers, I'm not going to lie. Thanks to our friends at Manscaped, you can make this season your smoothest yet. The Performance Package 5.0 Ultra. Man, they're at the 5.0 already? Holy smokes.
Holy cow, yeah.
5.0 Ultra is the ultimate bundle to keep your boys downstairs cool while looking hot. And in Kelowna, we know that matters. Join the 10 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped with our exclusive offer. Get 20% off, not 10, not 5, 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com and use code THPN, just like the network we're on, THPN. Summertime and the trimming is easy. I think I got that tune wrong. Just a few points about Manscaped. We both have the Performance Package. I think the 5.0, maybe the 4.0. I can't remember.
I think the 4.0 is the one we have. Yeah.
All I know is
I've got a couple of them. I think I've got the 3 and the 4.
It's no joke. Basically, it has everything you need to prepare your summer body. And in Kelowna, we know about there's a lot of manscaping going on because it gets hot.
It's pretty swassy out there.
It gets a little bit messy. We all know how it can get a little scary, especially maybe you got some Speedo. Maybe you're a Speedo guy in Kelowna. Who knows? I don't know. Maybe you do you. So you get the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra. You're going to get two interchangeable next-gen skin-safe blade heads. Standard one for taking a little trimmy trim, and then the new foil blade to go smooth wherever your heart desires. Now, the cool thing about Manscaped, I mean, you get a bunch of stuff. You get the shed travel bag, put all your stuff in there. They've got the boxers as well when you order the big package. I wear those all the time. They are super, super amazing. I don't know, like they prevent ingrown hairs, reduce grooming accidents. Like these stuff, they're so safe. Like you can't go wrong with Manscaped. So like I said, get 20% off free shipping, code THPN at manscaped.com. Like I said, 20% off. I feel like I'm repeating because I am, because you need to remember this. 20% off free shipping with the code THPN at manscaped.com. It's smooth sex, summer boys. Get on board or get left behind. That was a pretty good ad read. I'm not going to lie.
Was that whole thing scripted, or did you just do a bunch on your own there?
Some of that was ad-libbed. Okay. Yeah. So,
the Ultra Ultimate.
The Ultra Ultimate, yeah.
Did
I say that?
This could be the Ultramit.
The Ultramit. I feel like I just bought Addison the Ultramit. She's a catcher now.
Oh, there you go. Just like that.
Yeah, she's absolutely a dynamo behind the plate. She's tagged out like 5 girls towards the end of the season. Instead of throwing the ball, she just goes for it because she has long legs and she's fast. So she's already, again, remember how I've joked about like I'm the worst athlete in our house? Which is just a given. But like, they're continuing to prove this every single day.
You're hard on yourself just so you get a talented family. That's all.
I do. I'm just saying I'm the least talented of all of them. So that's saying something. So
you've upgraded over the last little while, though. I don't know. Is it possible you may have passed Christine? Because I haven't seen her athlete for a long time, so I don't know.
We're not
in terms of credentials, she's way up on you. That's not even close.
I will never equal her credentials. Like she's like this close to being nationally certified for speed skating. So I'm not even remotely close.
Yeah, that's not the conversation. We know that that's like a
if we were gonna say right now in life, I call her and she's sick on the couch right now. So absolutely.
She's not even here to defend herself. How dare you?
She's not. But things are going really well for me. 2-pitch, obviously, we miss you. We're going to the final next week, Canada Day. You should come anyway.
Going to the ship, out of way.
Yep. You should come anyway, even if you can't play.
Yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll make our way down.
We'll see.
I don't think we're going anywhere for the holidays. So.
I didn't want to play, but we have people like my in-laws are coming. Henry, my boy Henry's coming to town, so they'll be here this weekend from Australia. They're in Jasper right now, I think.
That's why we have all those listens out there.
That's right. Yeah, all 2 every month. So,
thanks, Henry.
Yeah, appreciate it, buddy. So they're going to be here, but I'm like, I don't want to play on Canada Day because it's Canada Day. You don't want to go.
It's like an hour. It'll be fine.
I know. So I'm like, for the shirt, it's worth it. So because I don't have an Urban Rec championship T-shirt.
Oh, really?
You've got a bunch of them from dodgeball. And
I'm sure I could lend you one.
I want to get my own. Okay. I don't want to find one at Valley Village.
I think we did a count. I think there's like a folded stack of them in the.
I get it. We get
the closet. I think there's 14 of them.
I'm like literally busting my balls to make this happen. You're just like, you can have whatever color or size you like. I've got that.
There you go. There's a bunch that don't fit anymore. It was so long ago I started winning them that there's mediums in that stack. So.
Oh boy, that would have been like when we first started playing together.
Yeah.
Like on Ball Stars, I guess.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Oh man, jeez.
Maybe before that, actually.
That was like pre-mustache for me.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a while, folks.
Yeah.
That's a while. So, we got that going on, and trying to get some more golfing in as well. Trying to add some new clubs to the thing. You know how it is. Some stuff's happened.
Yeah.
Some stuff's happened in the hockey world.
A couple big days. Yeah. Another big day today.
We'll get into your stuff a little bit later, but the big trophy, the big silver one, got rewarded to the Florida Panthers. Thank goodness. So can we just have a conversation about the obvious question that always comes up, like, well, why don't you cheer for the Oilers?
Why couldn't Boston Pizza unite the country?
Yeah, that went over really well. Or why couldn't what's her name from Edmonton get them a win? Like, they played that card way too hard, and I knew it was going to backfire. But
yeah, remember when LA had that with like it was like some porn star or whatever was in the crowd?
Dallas.
She was like behind the players' bench the whole time. No, this was like when LA won the cup.
Oh, okay, maybe.
And that was like their claim, right? Like
yeah.
Interesting. This is similar to that, because she wasn't a porn star, so
yeah. Well, she's trying to be now.
Yeah, that's their version of our green men.
Yeah, and it's just so weird. But like, everyone asks, like, oh, well, why wouldn't you cheer for the Oilers? Because I've never cheered for the Oilers.
Why would I cheer for the Oilers? Why would the Oilers cheer for Vancouver?
Exactly, and that was always my point.
Would the Oilers cheer for Calgary? Absolutely.
No
would
way.
I expect them to? Not in a minute. No way.
No.
So I don't want them cheering for Vancouver, and they don't want us cheering for us. Let's be real here.
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, it's a healthy hate as far as
okay.
sports goes. Do I respect had they done it? Absolutely. I'm not an idiot. If they had reverse sweep the Panthers, that would have been incredible.
Do you think the Baltimore Ravens are ever cheering ever in any format in capacity for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Like maybe if a win meant that they would get into the playoffs, but no.
That's the only way. That is even then they're probably like, we should have done this on our own.
Yeah, they would do it begrudgingly. Do you think the Browns are ever going to cheer for Baltimore or Pittsburgh? Like, no.
I like, you could finish that. Like, do you think anyone cheers for the Browns?
Yeah. Do you think anybody cheers for the Browns?
No. Not well. A few more people now, but
yeah.
So let's just get that over with.
People. A beer. Good call.
I got this as a coach's gift for this season. A couple beers and a Coach Ryan water bottle.
Attaboy.
Man, it was a good season. I taught. We had the kids versus parents game tonight. I am so sore. So our head coach, Coach Shy, shout out Coach Shy. She
Keep
plays.
Talking. Wax poetic. I'm just gonna
she plays. She's a pitcher for the UBCO Heat. This girl pitches smoke. So of course all the dad athletes are like, all right, let's see what you got. So, we finished the game. There's the final inning, so she came in to close it down. So a few of us decide to stand up and try to get at least contact on the ball. A few of the guys got a piece of it and got some decent hits. I got up there and I got a foul ball, and then I struck out. And I'm not going to lie to you. Everywhere here feels like gelatin right now.
Oh, just ripped up, I bet.
I am going to be so sore tomorrow. I feel like I couldn't lift anything right now. Like, I just feel like jello. It's not fun. But Coach Shy, we're trying to get her into to beer league next year. But she has got a college contract she's got to oblige to. So if she gets injured, it's not good news for. It's not.
That's
good
an important thing. Yeah.
So they've got contracts. I'm sure she's got her scholarship and everything. So, but I said, we're going to get you out because she's an absolute beauty. She's from like Idaho, I think, or something. So full on U.S. accent, the whole y'all thing. She's a beauty. So
we had I think it was like Brett Laurie's sister showed up one time.
Yeah. Is her name Lauren? I think.
Can't remember.
Anyway.
Laurie. And so she pitched to about 12 of us, and nobody even made contact. Just mowed us down, high fastballs. Like there's just nothing. And then she would throw off speed and like break ankles.
Right up. Yeah, it messes you up. Well, that was the other thing. So there's a few pitches. My brother-in-law, because our daughters both play on the team, so he gets up there and she throws the change up, and I mean, you knew it was coming, and it still sucks to watch someone strike out that bad.
And the change up's like 50, right?
It's murder. So anyway, I got to pitch, which was kind of nice to a few of the girls. So there's a few that can hit. So I came up there and I threw a few of my junk pitches, and Coach Shy looks at me. She's like, "What was that?" And I said, "I told you." She goes, "That was gross." I said, "This is all I know. This is all I know." So swept the plate a few times over a few of the girls. They're like, "You trying to hit her?" I'm like, "No, I know where that ball finishes. Don't you worry." So it was kind of fun to shut down a few of the kids. Caught Addie out twice. That was good.
Oh, that way.
Yeah, I wasn't letting her get to base. I don't care. So baseball was good. It was a lot of fun. But back to the Stanley Cup. So Roberto Luongo won a Stanley Cup finally.
And big shout out to Vancouver fans. I thought that was pretty great. I think he feels the support, so that was fun.
And Paul Maurice shouting out for the Jets to hopefully win a cup soon. He was just. Did you see his interview after, like even his post gamer?
No, I didn't watch the post game.
Oh, man, the dude is just like, he's like, I didn't win the Stanley Cup. I shared in it. Like all the things he said, and you're like, this guy. And honestly, I would love to see like a Rick Tocchet again, or like I think even John Tortorella, if he were ever to get back there and like have a mature like post game or after. Like I feel like he's got that in him still. Maybe not, but I don't know. There's some guys out there I'd like to hear their speeches.
Yeah, like I think that's part of what makes Tocchet so engaging. He is just so good on the interview, right? Like he's very thoughtful. Like he's he doesn't just give you like a yes and no answer. Like he elaborates, he goes into it a little bit further. He sort of just adds additional context. And I feel like every time I watch a Talkett interview, like I know a little bit more about the game because he's just that good, right? I mean, we didn't, we're probably not going to get to see more of it, but like another guy who I just thought gave phenomenal interviews throughout the course of the year was Ian Cole.
Yeah.
And he does it in a similar way that Talkett does, right? He takes some time, delivers a thoughtful answer, goes into depth, right? And then provides additional context. So yeah, great stuff. And I would love to, not only would I love to hear a Talkett post-game Stanley Cup interview, but like, I just would like to see it anyways. He's just that good.
I think to get even more into post-game, so they interviewed Matthew Tkachuk on the ice. And I think he gave, just to get back into the whole Oilers, Canucks, why don't you cheer for them? He said, you knew I couldn't let the Oilers win. Shout out to all my Calgary people. You knew I couldn't let the Oilers win.
Yeah.
Or Edmonton win, I think he said.
I mean, people forget that, right? That he was locked in that rivalry for another year, and he has that disdain for Edmonton. That will never go away, right? Like, once a member of a Battle of Alberta rival, always a member.
And the highest battle too. Like it wasn't Alberta, but it was, you can't take you can take the boy out of Alberta, but you can't take Alberta out of the boy, even though he's not from there. But it was
lots of Jim Benning contributions on that squad too.
awhile, Forsling, yeah. There's some weird, yeah. You just see it and you're like, wow.
I guess Luongo would have been Benning, but yeah.
Yeah, whatever. He was there. He was part of it. McDavid won the Conn Smythe Trophy and didn't bother to show up. So let's get into this for a quick second. It's not a big deal, but it's kind of a big, not a big deal. It's a deal. I mean, I get it. You just lost, but I mean, do you not want to acknowledge that? And I know he's not a personal, like he's so boring. Like his personality is like a grape, but I mean, you did win the MVP of the playoffs, and I get it. You lost, and we've seen guys lose and win it. But I mean, take it, get your picture, move on.
Have they confirmed that like he on purpose didn't want to come out for this thing and was like grumpy about it? Because like without knowing, and I haven't looked into this, like I think this works two ways. Like one being that like it's the J.S. Giguère win when he won it with Anaheim, goes in there, takes the Conn Smythe, is crying, is in tears, is devastated over having done so much. And if you remember everything that he poured into that cup final to get there, he was like nearly unstoppable. It was like first year Roberto Luongo in Vancouver. The guy was just an octopus.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that part, right? You're out there, they're doing the celebration, they're hanging around, you're waiting for announcements, the whole team is out on the ice. It's a lot. You're listening to the crowds, you're getting booed, right? And then you go up and accept your trophy. Or is it like the Edmonton Oilers were like, hey, we lost. This is Florida's thing. McDavid was the first guy in the lineup for the handshake. He went over, initiated everything, got it going. Respectful, good hard-fought series, right? And then he leaves, right? I mean, there's no guarantees that he's going to win the Conn Smythe at that point. If you're a recipient of the Conn Smythe, you don't know you're winning. Like, could have just as easily been Barkov or Bobrovsky, right? I mean, unlikely just based on what he did, but you don't know. So you play the game, you lose the game, you hang around for a second, you shake hands, you exit the ice, and you let the Florida Panthers have their time in the limelight. Is it possible that he just left with his team and he's in the room and he's being a teammate and he's with the guys sort of mourning that loss, and they announce his name to win the Conn Smythe and he's not there to do it because he's busy being a teammate with his friends? I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt here because he doesn't seem like an asshole to be like, nah, man.
No, and I don't think that's what he is.
That's the perception though. And it may not be wrong. I'm just trying to look at it from another point of view, right?
I think I get that. I think though, you won. Like someone told you won. It's not like it was a secret. Like someone had to have told him, like, "Hey, Connor, you won the Conn Smythe. Do you want to go out there?" And he probably said no.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. Like he's already in the room. He's with.
But I mean, it's in the room, man. Come on. He's from the locker room to the ice is what, 20 feet.
Yeah, I mean, probably more than 20 feet. But
You know what I mean, though. Like you go out there, it sucks. But I think he's the kind of guy like he owns a loss too.
yeah,
And I think if you won, I mean that's an incredible trophy.
sure.
Win or lose, right? I mean, you want to be on the winning side
It's
for
not like
sure.
he didn't win it to accept it. Like he's
I
still going to
think
have his name on it.
exactly. I think you go in there and like it's easy for me to say. I'm never going to even be remotely close to something like that. But I mean, do you not just go and like get it and be like, all right, whatever, go in. It sucks. You get your pouty picture. Are you a meme or something at that point? Maybe you go get your picture. I mean, the guy's the best player on the planet.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
You're also the captain of a team in the worst loss of the season to lose the thing that you trekked all year for. Like,
But I mean, if you're a teammate of Connor's, if you're Hyman, if you're Mark, if you're Draisaitl, whatever, like, hey man, it sucks. Like, go get that at least. Like, that's yours, man. You know what I mean? Like, you did an incredible thing.
yeah, I mean,
Go at least,
I see that point, but from an us against everyone point of view,
yeah,
if you're Connor McDavid, don't you just endear yourself to your teammates even more and be like, no,
yeah,
I'm here with you guys. Like,
yeah. Your team
none of
guy.
this none of
Call a
this
spade a
outside
spade.
shit matters, right? I'm an Oiler. I'm with the Oilers. We didn't win. I'm with you guys, right?
Call a spade a spade. Yep, that's fine, and that's fine
Yeah.
too. I mean, like I said,
I could be completely wrong. He could have just been like, "Fuck those guys. I'm not going out there."
which I mean is
I
kind
don't
of
know,
cool.
right? I'm just trying to give.
It's also kind of cool.
Yeah, also kind of cool.
Maybe we're just like, maybe
respected
we
more.
like him
Who
more.
knows?
Yeah. Maybe we like him more. Like, I kind of like that McDavid kid. So
Yeah.
pretty cool. I mean, Florida Panthers, only the San Jose Sharks are left for all the Sunbelt teams, and then you collected the whole set. So we're getting close.
There
We're
you
getting
go.
close.
See, there was the big trade before the start of the game.
Yeah. Allmark. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
Boston, I guess.
Mark Corpusalo. I'm not sure who the other guy was heading back. First round draft pick, and then 25% of Corpusalo's salary.
So where's Ottawa drafting?
Yeah, I don't know.
Pretty
That's
high?
a good question. Like with that pick, like where were they drafting?
Yeah. Yeah.
Here, I'll look it up.
NHL draft standing draft pick draft order. My arms are so sore right now. I'm gonna be a mess. I'm gonna be a mess. Here we go. So they're 7th.
So 7th overall. That's a good pick for a goalie.
So do you think he falls that far, Mr. Tija Ginla?
No, I don't think Iginla falls to 7. I think Iginla could go like.
They've got him ranked 3rd.
It wouldn't surprise me if he went 2.
That's incredible.
Like it just wouldn't. Like everybody knows who the guy's dad is. Everybody's seen.
I watched the dude scored a hat trick in the playoffs, and his dad didn't even cheer.
Yeah, everybody's seen Teach play. Like he's the
insane.
real deal, right? Like he is like mini Iginla.
Yeah.
And what other guy? I mean, you know this guy's gonna have good off seasons.
It's kind of like give me 2 seconds. If you knew you could redraft Jerome McGinley, where would you draft Jerome McGinley?
I can't remember who's in his draft year, but he's going 1, right?
Like, I'm just like, seriously, what if we could say, and I mean, what if he's better? Which he could entirely be.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you're just like, if I gave you the opportunity to redraft Jerome McGinley and know what you're about to get, where would you take him? Well, duh. Not first, but second's fine.
So drafted in 1995, Jerome.
It wasn't.
And 11th overall by Dallas. He was picked just ahead of Radek Dvorak. Terry Ryan in that draft. That's kind of funny. Little shout out there to Shorzy. Shane Doan went 7th in Winnipeg.
That worked out well.
You got Damon Langkow. Ryan Berard was a beauty.
He was.
Career cut short a little bit. Wade Redden played over 1,000 games.
That was a good draft class too.
Yeah. So just looking at this first round though, like, yeah, there's nothing in here that I would say goes ahead of a Jerome McGinley. But
You know what I mean, though? Like
1,300 career points.
When you start seeing like the Kachuk boys, and you think like, okay, if you had an opportunity to draft the better version of that guy, where would you take him?
I mean, yeah, I think it's pretty funny that he's a Kelowna Rocket and again, like grew up
Was a
playing for the
Blazer.
Blazers, but yeah.
Man. And hopefully a Memorial Cup bid. I doubt he's going to be there. They seem to think he will be, but if they win the Memorial Cup bid, you better hope he has an off year so that he stays home. But pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. So neat things going on. Yeah, that was kind of interesting trade. I felt there was going to be a ton more stuff going on, which is
a couple of things. Like Dylan DeMello resigned as well.
I saw that.
So
I saw that.
That was kind of a target that I think, I was kind of hoping Vancouver would have taken a serious look at as well. But 4-year deal, so he's going to play until he's 35.
Markey went to New Jersey, which we kind of that was kind of inevitable. That
Another
was
first round draft pick for an NHL starting goalie. So that it seems like after for the longest time, it seemed like the market was soft on goalies. Now, I mean, it's a minimum that you're looking at a first round draft pick. So
what a world.
Yeah.
And then it looks like the update on Gensel is it sounds like the Canucks are now pricing themselves out of that Gensel market, but who knows? I mean, honestly, until July 1 or whatever, we have no idea.
Fodder. Yeah.
We have no idea. So, I mean, it'd be nice to see him. I'm still, like I said, on the Toffoli train. I think that's a good option. We'll get into the Hronek thing in a second.
They're gonna have to do some if they can't get Gensel, they're gonna have to do like a couple of like lower budget veteran guys on shorter deals to sort of just do the stopgap thing, right? I mean, what happens is that you don't want to get into trouble trying to find yourself like who's the next closest thing to a Jake Gensel, right?
Yeah.
And you're looking for like those 2-tier, like second tier guys, like high Bs, and then you're looking at paying 6+ for a guy as opposed to paying 9 or 10 for a Gensel, right? And then if you start locking in at 6+ for those guys who have a little bit on them, then they're going to want some term as well. And then you could be looking at 6+ for a guy for like 4 or 5 years. And then what happens the next time free agency rolls around and you do want one of those superstar guys, but now you've got a 6+ dude sitting on your roster for the next few years. And, I don't want to say like Louis Eriksson exactly, but it's sort of that idea where even if Louis was was producing and he would have been sitting around like the 55 point mark or 60 point mark, you would have been wanting a little bit more, and you'd sort of be kicking yourself the chance to sign, go out and get yourself a Panarin or something like that, and you just won't have the bullets in the chamber to do that cash wise. So
yeah,
I think you got to go a couple of veterans that have some scoring credentials that can get it done in the playoffs. I think you're right. Foley fits that bill pretty perfectly.
Well, and I think I know Thomas Drance was big on this. Was it 2 years ago? And then they signed him, but Eric Ciernak, like now, I mean, Hronek signed, but it was, now we're talking about Zadorov, and we're talking about, the Ian Coles and the Tyler Myers, and we're talking about the defensive core. I mean, does Ciernak now come into play, and you kind of get him probably, I wouldn't say on the cheap compared to last time, but maybe I would say in a closer number to what he signed last time, because I think you can still get in on that market and not have to burn a lot of cash. And I mean, the cap went up, so I think some of that went to Hronek anyway. Mm-hmm. But maybe you get a second chance at it, Eric Ciernak, I think.
Yeah, and if you could, a Ciernak is a guy, I think if you could, I know everybody's talking about the John Marino thing.
Mm-hmm.
And quite honestly, that would be a perfect fit. I don't know how they pry Marino from New Jersey. I think they're kind of unfit as trade partners. I don't know who goes back the other way. Vancouver, I feel like, isn't interested in giving up draft picks, nor should they be. Who's trade bait on this roster? I think the team is pretty happy with where Garland sits, and I'm not sure that he could get you in Moreno. And
is that what you want to do?
Yeah, is that what you want to do? They're not going to take an Ilya Mikheyev. Why would they do that? I mean, that's a swap for swap hockey trade, but Moreno to me has value. He's an excellent penalty killer, plays 20+ a game, could play with Hughes. I mean, could you imagine him playing with Susie? That would be a really nice shutdown pair, right? And then if you re-sign Myers, you bump Myers down to the third pairing, and there's all sorts of fun things you could do with that. It frees up money to go out and sign yourself a Tyler Toffoli. But I mean, trade target wise, I don't know who's on this roster. I mean, I think Hogs again is probably the other name for a guy that could possibly move, but he's on a cheap deal and he scored like 20 plus goals last year. So
and now
he's got to round out his game a little bit.
Maybe he's the next Garland.
Yeah, maybe this is the right time to trade a Niels Höglander, right? Like maybe they elevated his value just enough, a la Cody Hodgson, that you can move him for a productive player. But then if you make that move, now you got to figure out where you're getting the extra 3.5 plus for him for the difference in salary, right? So lots going on here. I feel like Zadorov, that ship has sailed. We know that the Lindholm thing isn't going to be a thing anymore. I think,
you know what? I know that you were, and that's kind of why we've kind of held off on a show. You're saying a lot of speculation. I think that's a little bit of speculation too. Like for all we know, he does take less than we all think, and he gets not a team friendly deal, but I think both sides are like, hey, I'll give you a little bit. Maybe it's going to come down to term, but he's going to sign for less. Who knows? And
why?
And I don't know. I just work here.
You want to play you want to be a third line center? I just don't know, man. I love him. I think he'd be great. I think you're also dodging a bullet by not signing a guy to a 7-year deal who's 29 years old.
Yeah, that's fair. I get it.
Yeah, we already have one of those guys.
Steven Stamkos is apparently going to be a UFA.
Fuck, that'd be fun.
Let's get him. 34 years old. Let's do 1 year Steven Stamkos, see what happens. What could go wrong? Anthony Mantha's out there. I mean, is a Tyler Bertuzzi even a fit? You've got, who do we got in there? Brady Shea, Marchessault. He won't sign in Vancouver.
I think Marchessault would be an interesting one. I think that falls into the Toffoli category.
I don't think he'd sign here, though.
I think if you can't get it to Toffoli, or maybe you could get both. Maybe you could get Marchessault and Toffoli. I mean, that would sure solve a lot of scoring problems. Solve these guys to 2-year deals. Give them what they want. You got to pay a little more.
Stopgap for a couple of years.
I mean, that you could do a lot worse than Tyler Toffoli and Jonathan, formerly Odie Marchessault.
I mean, I like goals. You like goals.
Yeah, and you're right. Maybe Vancouver's not a destination, but this is now a team that has a little bit of clout. It's got a Jack Adams winner. It's got
likely Norris,
an incredible regular season record. It's got some playoff jam with some players that now have experience. It's got a Norris winner.
Mm-hmm.
It's got center depth. If you're a winger and you're Jonathan Marchessault, I feel pretty good about getting to play with either JT or PD.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's not.
And he's a bit edgy too. Like him and JT Miller almost would be a fun little combo. Hey.
Yeah, he can score in the playoffs. Like everybody forgets that. Like this guy gets it done in the playoffs. Like we need a player like that. I would be thrilled to get a Jonathan Marchessault.
He would be the kind of guy. Like I remember how I felt when we got to Foley the first time. I'm like, I don't know. I really didn't like him when he was with LA and blah blah blah. And then within 2 days, I'm like, man, I love this guy.
Yeah, I mean that's a heck of a player. You could do a lot worse, but like you said, we don't know that he would sign him. But that's a gamble you got to take. I mean, Rutherford's pretty good about getting his guy, and I know that Alvin is a really smart dude too. So maybe there's a way that they talk him into it. There's worse places to play than Vancouver,
like Calgary.
Yeah, and if it's a final payday for these guys, no, like. Marchessault has made some good money, but
he's also won a cup.
He didn't break into the NHL really early. He spent a lot of time in the minor leagues, and he didn't get the big paychecks until he was sort of later in his career.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe getting one more big bank, because this is probably going to be his last contract. Maybe that's a priority for him. Or, like you said, that he's already won before. Maybe he wants to win again, and he sees this as a unique opportunity.
It would be interesting. I mean, the buy-in would be there. I think the marketing department, a la, like you said, Alvin and Rutherford and probably PD, and I bet they bring all the guns out. Like you probably have to bring the guns out for for a few guys. There's a few players I'm sure you probably have to get the sell on.
Yeah,
Because
this
it's
team.
still Vancouver. Like, it's not Vegas. It's not LA. It's not the flashiest city. So you're going to probably have to bring a little bit of the clout into the relationship or into the conversation. Sorry. But
It wouldn't surprise me if Gensel signs in LA because it's freaking LA.
I'd sign there.
And then as a backup
New
plan,
jerseys.
Vancouver gets either it's a Foley or a Marchessault or both. Who knows, right?
Wouldn't that be fun?
And I wouldn't hate that. I really wouldn't. And I don't. Again, he's 29 years old. I know that he's a more sophisticated player than Miller was at an earlier age. He's done more than Miller.
And he's pissy
during a period of time. And he's a bit of a pissant as well, right? So
I like it.
The only thing I don't like is the length of the contract.
I think
if he wants an 8-year deal, that's tough, man. 37-year-old making
I don't think
maybe 11 million.
I don't think you're going to see guys that are throwing around those big deals unless they're the guys.
He's the guy, though, Ryan.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Like, who else is in this free agency class that you would pay that kind of money to?
Yeah, no, that's fair.
If it's Steve Stamkos before his last contract when he never made it to free agency, yeah.
Yeah.
But
wouldn't
not this version, which I love this version.
He's not going anywhere. Reinhardt's going to sign back in Florida.
Even if Reinhardt signs back in Florida, I still think Gensel is the better player.
Yeah. But I'm just going over a few of the guys that are up there. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So before we get into me being right again, I would like to talk about. You don't have to like me. You just have to agree. That's all. So of the 3,000 people that bought one of these stupid looking trash bins, I saw the Cybertruck in town. Apparently this person lives in Glenmore.
Huh.
And I don't remember seeing a license plate, but I saw a huge QR code on the back. And when I finally drove beside this person and looked into the window, it's exactly who you'd expect to see driving a Cybertruck. Baseball cap, forward, whitish sunglasses kind of person. The person that has the money and needs to make sure everybody knows that they bought a Cybertruck. It looks in person. I mean, you see them on TV and you see pictures on the internet. It is the stupidest. Like the Pontiac, remember the Pontiac Aztec?
It's not an Aztec.
No. I'm just saying, do you remember that vehicle and how?
Oh, yeah. Hey, I picked it on my top 5 all-time ridiculous.
That's right. My buddy Jeremy had one for a short time.
Sorry, Jeremy. Great guy, though.
Great guy. Those things were hideous. This thing, like, this is the kind of thing like you would make in Lego or like Minecraft, but you would never actually think there's no way someone should have that in real life. It is a monstrosity. It doesn't look functional whatsoever.
It looks like a
like it's just polygons. That's all it is.
It looks like a Honda Ridgeline, on steroids. And when I think of trucks, I don't think of Hondas.
It looks like a skate ramp. Like it looks like the middle of a skate ramp. You go to you go to Bentley Park, and you're just put one of these in the middle, and we're gonna do ollies off of it.
Did you see that guy on the internet that he bought it and then he just modded the shit out of it and made it look like the Warthog?
I did see that.
Yeah, pretty funny.
That's about the only way you can. They're stupid. Anyway, I saw it in person. Shame on you, sir.
It's like a DeLorean truck.
But I mean, I know a guy that has a DeLorean. He bought one, I think 15 years ago, and he finally had it redone. I think last year, the year before. Pretty cool car. Pretty cool car. This, not so much. So that was our little segue into me being right. Filip Hronek signed with the Vancouver Canucks. Would you like to talk about that? Don't say your screen froze, because I know it didn't. It kind of actually did. So that's kind of funny. Filip Hronek signed with the Vancouver Canucks for less than Quinn Hughes. 7.25, I believe.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to take a victory lap on it, but also as a fan base, we should take a victory lap on it because he signed for less than Quinn Hughes. And our defense is probably...
What were you right about?
That he wouldn't get more than Quinn Hughes.
That he wouldn't sign for, or that he couldn't get more than Quinn Hughes?
Well, that he wouldn't.
That he wouldn't. You thought he would sign for less than 8.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that it would have to be less than Quinn Hughes because you can't pay him more than Quinn Hughes. And that's what happened. So that's why I'm right. That's all. There's not a whole lot to get into that, but we can talk about Filip Hronek. We talked about this at the end of the season. This was kind of one of our bullet points, which I'm sure every Canucks podcast talked about. But I mean, the fact that they did get him for that number and for as long as they did, and now you've got a defense that is shored up that they can now build around. And I do hope that we get, more of first half Filip Hronek than back half Filip Hronek. We should all be excited. For all we know, this could be one. And you probably said this, but I want to steal your thunder if it's at all possible. This could be one of the best signings that the Canucks have ever made.
Ever's a big word.
I know.
But this is a really good signing. This is a quality defenseman. This is a minute muncher. This is a guy who fits seamlessly with your first pairing defender. We know that he with Quinn Hughes. Like, if you were to go to free agency and you were to go find another player and bring him in, and you want a first pair guy who's going to play 20 plus minutes a game, you're going to pay like between $6-8 million for one of those guys. And you could get him, and he might not be a good partner for Quinn Hughes. Now, like, that being said,
Ted's having a fun internet conversation going on right now. That's okay. We're going to wait him out. He might have frozen. I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure at all. Basically, the chicken salad conversation. Chicken poop, I think he said. It's an amazing signing because, are you there? Are you back?
I just lost
you good?
A bunch. I was in the middle of a rant.
That's okay.
It's gone, yeah.
Can you make that rant again? Chicken salad, you said.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Chicken salad out of chicken shit. So, I mean, obviously, I'm not saying that, Noah Juulsen is. She spent a lot of time playing with Noah Juulsen. Has looked really good doing it. He spent a lot. It's very likely that he can play with anybody. But he showed real chemistry with Hronek, right? Like,
yep.
Right? Like, Hughes had a monster season in part by Filip Hronek.
Yep. Absolutely.
I don't know if anybody's hearing any of this stuff because you just keep bouncing.
You're getting bits and pieces. He had a monster season with Filip Hronek, you said.
Yeah, and I think they helped each other out, right? Like, so I think
it's not
it's a lot of money, right? He's not quite your number. He's not quite a prototypical number 2 defenseman. He's very, very close, and he can log minutes, and he's still ascending, right? Like, this is his age 26 season. You're gonna have a couple more years of him in his prime. He could get even better.
He shores up your first pairing, but if you don't need that, he's your lock as your number 3.
Yeah, and like,
or he's your quarterback of your second pair anyway.
Yeah, like, I think they wanted to try that, and so hey, that's a good thought, right? If they were to somehow get their hands on a John Moreno, you could theoretically play Moreno with Quinn Hughes, and you could play Filip Hronek with Carson Soucy.
Oh no!
And that looks pretty freaking good, right? Like, you're asking him to be the offensive guy, you're asking him to be there, and that's fine, right? Like, I think this just gives options. We know that it works, and it's not a terrible deal. And I think 2-3 years from now, this looks like an absolute steal if it isn't already.
I think the neat thing is, and we can think about this on defense as opposed to offense. It's not like McDavid Draisaitl where they basically had to rely on putting those two together. It's like, well, that would be really nice, but we don't have to do it. In fact, we'd prefer that we don't do it so we can spread stuff around. Worst case scenario, which is basically Game 7 or the playoffs, we might have to ride that a little bit harder, but for 82 plus games, we can just roll with whatever we need to because we've got 2 options for 2 pairings, and we can cycle in a handful of other guys, and we're still going to be okay. Whereas if you're the Edmonton Oilers, like, well, push comes to shove, we got to go back to the one thing that does work. And honestly, in their case, they probably just burnt out, which we all saw coming. Unfortunately, they almost made it work, but it's I'm gonna add you to the stage. Should we keep you? I was gonna make you stay there as a pause screen. That would have been fun. So anyway, I was just getting into the whole McDavid and Draisaitl comparison, whereas on defense, yeah, you can have Hronek and Quinn Hughes, but you don't have to. You can spread them apart. You can put them back together whenever the heck you like because they're defensive pairings. Whereas up front, the Oilers had to rely on that 1-2 punch, and it was colossal. But they, ideally they wanted to move them apart so that they could, spread around their offensive depth, but they didn't have a whole lot of it at the time. So, I mean, they do going forward, hopefully, but as far as Vancouver's concerned, you've got 2 defensive pairs now, and hopefully you do kind of figure out what the rest of your back end looks like. But I mean, those are your two key pieces. Those are your bookends, and whether they're together or they're first and second pair, it's not a terrible thing to have.
It makes sense. It's a good signing, I think. Value-wise, it's a good signing for a player who's still going to get better for a couple of years, hopefully.
And I think we have to all agree that, I mean, sure, did he have a back half that kind of sucked as by his standards and what the standards we believe to be were the first half? Yeah, it wasn't amazing.
Check to a team, check the team to a man how the back half of that year looked, and then tell me if Philip Hronek falls in line with that.
All he has to do is show up in the first week and you're like, oh, all right, we're glad we signed him.
Yeah.
And we all walk away happy. So I think there's some good stuff to talk about. Before we get into your little thing, and we're almost kind of done here, nice little episode. We're going to try to get a couple summer episodes. They may not involve Ted, but before we get into that, we're making a hard push. He has nothing to do with the Vancouver Canucks whatsoever. But I'm making a push to either have a sit down, because I think that's going to be the only likely way this happens. We're going to try to get Glenn Sather on the show. I've got an interesting connection there. And why wouldn't you talk to
Why wouldn't you want Slats on the show?
So we're working on that. So stay tuned. I can't believe those are words I'm saying. So
there you go. Yeah.
Chatted with him a week or two ago,
and it's not like we haven't pulled the big one off before, right? I mean, we had Biz on the show pretty early in this show's infancy.
Yeah,
we managed to get our hands on like an Orland Curtin back. We've had some big players on the show. Brad May was a super good time. Mm-hmm. We got really close with super agent Alan Walsh. So
yeah, that one is still a little bit mad about.
That one petered out. I think there's still a chance of it going. If we can make the Glenn Sather thing work, then yeah, man, let's.
Wouldn't that be crazy if we just goaded them to talking? It'd be like, I bet you couldn't get Wayne Gretzky on the phone right now.
You won't do it. You won't do it. Yes, I will.
Yes, I will. Oh, yeah, I could do it. So anyway, super nice guy. And yeah, he said he would come on our show. So I'm going to try to set that up. And it's weird living where we live. I'm not going to lie. We have some interesting opportunities. And I mean, shout out to former show member. We had Vern Fiddler on the show because of, relationships. Yeah. It's
great show.
You just never know in Kelowna. But anyway.
That's how it works. Brady was like his neighbor. Wasn't that how that went down?
Yeah. And I mean, he's like, oh, yeah, we used to play just road hockey and stuff. I'm like, yeah, the guy's awesome. So, things happen. So Kelowna's an interesting market, and we will embrace it. I don't think we're getting Shea Weber anytime soon, but, he's got some stuff. Shout out. He's going to the Hall of Fame, first Kelowna Rocket. No big deal.
He's in the gym, that guy. Holy.
Yeah, and now he's just coaching his kids. It's weird. It's a weird world that we live in.
He did I don't know if you ever heard this. So at the gym, he's in there training, and they have that like pulley system, right, where you like put the belt on and then you lock the rope to the back.
Oh
of
yeah,
the belt,
yeah.
And then you hustle up, and the harder you run, the harder it pulls back, creates existence. And then you go to the end of your run, and then you walk it back, right? So we're on there running. We were able to run like mid-setting with the rope pull, the big drag. It's kind of like when you push the sandbags, right? And then it starts to move further and further up to get heavier and heavier. Finish on there. He's in there training. Guy hooks 2 machines up to his back and just starts doing sprints up and down the turf like it was like nothing. It didn't even
register.
It didn't even register. It was like watching like a regular truck pull a trailer and then watching like a diesel pull the trailer, and it's like not even trying. It was insane. Just an absolute beast.
Wow. Clone Rocket, no big deal.
Clone Rocket.
Dude is a beast. So we're gonna have. I'm hoping you can be on the Glenn Sather show. I'm hoping that somehow works out. Maybe end of summer kind of thing. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see how it goes.
But I'm gonna try to record some shows with some guests because we do have to keep up some appearances over the summer. But you got some news for everybody that you said you would share, and I think a few people know about this, but it's going to be an interesting summer for you.
It's going to be an interesting summer. So last year, the big deal was that I was headed in for heart surgery. I had to have a valve completely replaced. So I had my 1-year checkup, and something is wrong with the valve and it's not taking, and I'm getting a leak again. So the only way to correct this is that I actually have to go back in for a second surgery, one of those sort of once in a lifetime surgeries. I have to go do a second time. The last one was supposed to be forever. It was supposed to be that valve that I was supposed to just go on and skate with for the rest of my life. But the cards were not dealt that way. I guess it's kind of considered like a real outlier or like an edge case for something like this to happen. Because like I said, it is supposed to just be a sort of one and done. But it's not. And the only way to correct it is that I actually have to go back in again. So I'll be heading into surgery on June 24th. So wish me luck then. July 24th. Because that would have been yesterday. July 24th.
You look great.
And could be like, between 3 and 8 hours or something like that. And then I'll be out of surgery. The plan is obviously to wake up and then I'll be in the hospital for probably anywhere between like 4 and 8 days or something like that while I heal and recover in both intensive care and then regular care. And then I'll make my way home, and then it's just sort of recovery time past that. So the idea is that, we can get it sorted out, whatever that issue is, get it replaced, and then hopefully make sure that we're checking all the boxes so that I don't have to go in and do something like this again. So recovery is going to be a big factor. I'm going to have to get back in the gym again and get myself back in order and back in shape. That is a fun part of it. Rehabbing. I actually really do enjoy rehabbing. So I'll be excited to get my body right and get back on track and sort of do some work mentally and make sure that I'm in good standing there, and start my cardiac rehab through Coach, which is the place out here that I do all that with. So in a lot of ways, it'll be exciting to go out and see a lot of those people again. And the scary thing is that, I know what's coming, right? Before I was a little naive to the whole thing, but that's also a good thing, right? I know what's coming. So I can have a better understanding of all the things, bumps, bruises, the way things are healing, how I'm feeling, and be a little more in tune with my body this time around than I was before. So I'm excited that I have a date. It's for the last little while, it's been a real nerve point for me, because not knowing when you're going to get a surgery and you're told something that could be 6 months, could be a year, and then you get a phone call and say it's going to be next month. That puts a lot at ease from a mental standpoint. So I'll be excited to go in and get the surgery done and bang it out. And I'll do my best to to stay on track and keep everybody notified of what's going on.
Grant just checked in. He's a bit of a jerk, decided to tune in late, mainly because Facebook hasn't really been tuning in. So apparently we need 100 followers on Facebook to get that live again. So have to work on that.
So interesting thing about Grant. So Grant and I met on Twitter when I did the announcement the first time around that I had heart surgery. And Grant, I hope you're okay with me sharing this, but Grant's been through a heart surgery himself. So he was a real rock for me to lean on. He told me a lot about what to expect and what to know and how to prep and how to be prepared and how to advocate for myself. So I owe a lot to him, and I still continue to confide it in to this day. So friend of the show, personal friend, and a guy that I kind of look up to in terms of, staying the course of this type of stuff.
It's a pretty unique thing. I mean, we've chatted about this for, oh man. I mean, you told me the first time.
Yeah.
And that was like a pretty big blow. But to have somebody that had gone through that, and just listening to you guys when we had Grant on the show, and I mean, I didn't tune out, but like all your jargon and everything was in there. I mean, if there's another person that understands all that crap,
He gets it for sure. Yeah.
I think, I mean, that is, I think it puts your mind at ease. It gives you a little bit of peace. I would never want anyone to be in that position. Obviously, definitely don't want you in that position, but here we are. Knowing that there's somebody that's gone through this, that you guys can talk about it, that you've got someone. It's not just someone like to confide in and to just somebody to talk to. Like,
it's
I mean, you and I are pretty close, and we've got something, but that's a different thing. That's something like, listen, like these are questions that we can't talk about. There's somebody that's been through it that knows exactly. And I mean, sometimes it's just, I need this exact answer from this thing. And it's good that you've got somebody like that, because I mean, pretty awesome that he's a Canucks guy too, that he's following us. I mean, it could be anybody. It could be a Boston fan. Just
all around cool guy. Yeah, I think like you kind of hit the nail on the head, right? I mean, the idea is that it's not uncharted water, right? I mean, you're not the only one. Somebody's been through that before, and you can pull those experiences, and it just makes you better. And I think like the funny one was, I remember like pretty early on, he was telling me about everything you had to do. And he was like, hey man, you're going to be going in for your like CT angiogram. And I'm actually going in for it a second time day after tomorrow. So be excited to get that one done. But he was like, just so you know, they're going to inject you with a needle and they're going to run you through the scanner, but you're going to feel like you pissed yourself. You're not. You're just going to feel like you pissed yourself. And that was like, that made me laugh so hard. And I remember when I went in for the CT scan and they gave me the injection, I was like, oh, yeah, there it is. No, I'm definitely not pissing myself. I just feel like I'm pissing myself. And had he not told me that, probably would have thought I wet myself right on the table.
Just so we know, like, there was at no point did you actually wet yourself?
No, but it sure feels like it.
Like that video. Did you get my Twitter video before the show?
I saw it. I hadn't had a chance to look at it yet.
The poop. It's interesting.
Okay.
There's poop. That's all it is. There's poop. So
Grant confirming that he's not a Boston fan. So
yeah, I know. Like I said, it's nice to know that like you've got a supporter specifically, but that they're not one of the other guys. You're like, well, at least we can share in this together. And it's like the Boston pizza thing, like you said. It literally goes through every. Ew, that sounds awful. Yeah, but kind of cool. If you could get, oh, hey now, if you could get like a cool like screen picture of that, like an inverted picture, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm sure they have it. Yeah,
you should get one.
Yeah,
it'd be kind of neat. I don't know. I'm into those sort of things. Whatever. I like weird things.
There you go.
I don't want your.
The guy that ran my test last time is the guy that plays in our ball league.
No kidding.
The other dude that was nominated for like most sportsmanship, or best sportsman.
Well, it wasn't Lloyd, because I definitely know he
wasn't Lloyd. Nothing. Yeah, no, he's more of like a carpenter, different thing.
He has a stair manufacturing plant, so
yeah,
slightly different. So anyway, so that's what's going on with Ted. Thanks for sharing, man. It's
no problem.
I think I mean, we had Whit on here. Whit's on a bus, hey?
Is he?
Like he's got Whit is on like he's all like over a bus.
He's doing great. He's just absolutely killing it right now.
Man, good for him. I mean, that's tough. That's a tough one. That I think you're going to get through this. And we were talking about you at ball tonight as we finish up here. We were playing against the kids, like I said, and we all had to hit the opposite hand against the kids to make it fair, which rightfully so, that was the right thing to do, because I was ready to just absolutely murder at the plate tonight. So it was interesting because I can switch hit at the plate righty, but I have to hit cross-handed, as you've seen. It is what it is. So I did okay. I think I got on base twice, but it's we were talking and we brought up you, and I'm like, yep. I said, like Addison goes, well, Ted can hit from either side of the plate and he does really well. I'm like, well, Ted's a freak. So I said, I said to one of the parents, I said, yeah, he can hit from both sides of the plate in one game and hit a home run. I said, I've seen it happen. It's really frustrating. So knowing that when you get back to the gym after this is all said and done, I feel like you're going to be like a superhuman, and we cannot, wait. It cannot happen soon enough that we get you back on all of our sports teams, because we miss you in that avenue. One, because it's nice to have you, but you bring the lightheartedness, and then you just absolutely demolish the other team. So it's nice having the ace in our back pocket. So we're going to miss out on that for a little bit, but hopefully we can at least have a summer together of some sort. I don't know what that's going to look like, but we'll figure it out. I'm going to see you in the hospital this time. That's my goal.
Okay. Cool.
Because last time I didn't know how to do that.
Yeah, I
didn't know what to do.
I was a little like, I wasn't want any visitors that time around. This time, I think I'm going to be more comfortable with that type of thing, and I'll be open to people stopping by and hanging out. And it gets lonely in there for sure. So appreciate all the kind words and all the support for sure. And I'm going to need it. So stoked.
If Chris Phillips was here, he'd be like, "Let's ice him."
Yeah. That'd go over well.
I don't think they want people icing people in the hospital. So anyway, it's 10:30. We're gonna drop this. We're gonna drop the show at this point. So the Canucks, they didn't win the Stanley Cup, but neither did the Edmonton Oilers, and that's a great thing. So we're gonna go into free agencies coming up. The draft's coming up. We've got lots of stuff on the go. I'm going to get Ted at least one more show, maybe before he goes under the anesthetics.
We'll get one or two more in, no problem.
Hopefully we can get that Glenn Sather thing happening, because it'd be fun. People would enjoy that, I think. So, man, thanks for coming out. It's good to chat with you. I haven't chatted with you in a while, so this is the first official meeting we've had in a while, whether it's online or not. So, yeah. Anyway, on behalf of T3 Teddy Wong, I'm Ryan. This is the PP1 Podcast. We're back, baby. Almost done season 5 on the Hockey Podcast Network. Brought to you in concert with DraftKings and Manscaped. Manscaped.com. Promo code THPN. Everybody, have a great July Canada Day weekend. Peace out. We love you.
All right. Thanks for joining in, Grant.